Today's guest is Ron Mora, founder of Arum Investments. Ron, he got his start in the tech industry, and he got his first taste of real estate when he became a real estate broker. However, he didn't make a lot of progress at the time because he was also working full-time at his W-2 job. But now he's back at it, and he's pursuing his mortgage origination license. Ron is also looking to specialize in self-storage facilities with an emphasis on using those assets to make an impact and to aid the less fortunate. Ron, thank you so much for being on the show today.
It's good to be here, Nathaniel. Thank you for having me on.
I'm excited to hear about your story. I like the whole tech industry and everything. I even considered becoming a computer science and engineering major, but I ended up going a different direction after my incident with my college roommate. But let's talk more about you. I'd love to hear, how did you first get into real estate? What prompted your decision to become a real estate broker? Where did you move on from there? And what kind of issues did you run into along the way?
Right. So I got my real estate license, broker license in, I think it was 2005. And I looked at it as an opportunity to maybe do a possible transition out of the T field. Not that I was unhappy with it at the time, because I was still obviously working in the tech sector. And this was back in the Chicago area, back at that time. And I'd done pretty well, did some transactions, and learned quickly that real estate is not a part-time gig. It's not something you can do on the weekends. This is something that you build a business, a real live business on, that requires a lot more time. So after learning that really quickly, it just I couldn't put as much time and energy into it because I was still working the W-2 job. That was obviously providing me a more steady income. And then 2008 hit, and then the market softened a lot. And so my real estate license kind of went to the side for a bit, and I essentially put that in holding. And for those that don't know what that means, it just means you're just hanging your license with a different broker that just allows you just to pay an annual fee versus all the other fees that you would have to pay to the National Association of Realtors and the MLS, the Multiple Listing Service, with the agency that's in the state. Mm-hmm. So not having to pay those dues, that saved me hundreds and hundreds of dollars versus $150 a year. So that did leave me the opportunity to continue to refer other buyers and sellers to other agents, and then those brokers would just pay me back a referral for that connection. So once the transaction closed, of course. So, and I did this for several years after that, and then moving to Arizona from Chicago in 2017, I still kept my license in holding and still working at W-2, still working in the tech sector. And in 2022 is when I finally decided to let it expire, because I was living in Arizona and my license was only good for Illinois. And I knew I didn't want to be a real estate broker in Arizona. So that's when I made the decision just to let it expire. And just because I let that license expire, still working at W-2, I didn't let my passion or my connection with real estate expire. So keeping with the market trends and staying with all of the data points that show me what real estate is and where it's at, I suddenly became at a crossroads with my current position, and do I want to continue staying in the tech sector until I retire? Because at this time I'm in my early 50s. Mm-hmm. And I decided to make a decision, and having a conversation with my wife and my family. They were super supportive of what I wanted to do, which was to gracefully exit out of my W-2 and do real estate investing full time. Had a conversation with a friend of mine.
Things that I'd like to get some clarification on too, if that's okay.
Of course.
You said that you're going to let your broker license in Illinois expire because you didn't want to be a broker in Arizona. Well, what was the reasoning behind that? Because you're saying that you're also keeping up with your passion for real estate. So what's the connection or the disparity there?
Not so much a disparity so much. It's just that if I was going to continue to be a licensed agent, then I would have to have my license hung with a managing broker.
Gotcha.
And that comes with a certain amount of fees. And if I knew I wasn't looking to build my business within real estate, being a real estate salesperson or a broker, then I'm just basically throwing money away. So that's why I decided to pursue that and let my license expire, at least in Illinois, or at least not do a transition, which I totally could have. I could have taken my active license and taken a shorter test to transition my license from Illinois, or actually no, that would have been, I would have been a licensed agent both in Illinois and in Arizona.
Gotcha.
So
well, the reason I ask is because for a lot of people, especially that are unfamiliar with real estate, would think that just being a realtor means that you are investing in real estate. But we know that's not necessarily the case. Could you go into the difference on that a little bit?
The difference between
being a real estate investor and then just being a realtor.
Sure. So a realtor is basically a person that will work with buyers and sellers, so consumers, and find them a home, right? So for example, Nathaniel, if you want to sell your house, then you would work with me and I would sell your home and then work with either another agent or find you your next home that you would want to purchase. That's not the same thing as investing, because if I was an investor, I could still go to you and say, hey, Nathaniel, I think your home is, offer you a dollar amount for it, and you'd either accept it or reject it. And then based on our transactional conversation, then I would purchase it from you. And then my part would be to either add some value to it and then flip it and put it back on the market for a higher profit. So typically investors are going to buy homes that are below market value. So that's really the main difference. Realtors and investors are always looking to purchase property that are under market value so they could turn it around and do something with it and then sell it for a profit at market value or above market value. Realtors are always going to work and do their due diligence with their clients and sell at market value or above market value if they feel that they can.
Gotcha. Well, thank you for giving us that explanation. And then you said that you decided that you wanted to get back into this and become an investor full-time, dedicated to your business after leaving your W-2 job. Was it because your tech industry job just wasn't fulfilling anymore? What was the reason behind just making that decision?
So throughout my career that I've been in the tech sector for over 25 years. And throughout that career, I've been laid off 3 times. And each time it's like you're starting over again, right? You're updating your resume, you're putting yourself out there and just hoping, praying that, oh, maybe they'll pick me, put on your best smile, your best suit. And you want to make sure you say all the right things to the person that's interviewing you. And working with I would say a good handful of good recruiters, because they're not all of them are the best, but the ones that I was fortunate to work with have found me good positions with other companies, only to be let down again. And then changes in organization. Oh, we bought this other company, so now we have double of this, and now we don't need your position anymore. So you're being eliminated. Your position's being eliminated. So the last company I worked for had a similar operation that went on. So they did some downsizing and they were eliminating some positions. Mine wasn't affected at the time, but to me, that was just the writing on the wall. I figured, okay, I got saved this time,
I've been through this
but
dance
maybe
before,
the next time,
right?
exactly. Maybe the next time I wouldn't be so lucky. And at that point, I just decided, why am I letting this corporation control my destiny, my financial future? All right.
Yeah, you're talking about how you didn't want to let the corporation control your destiny.
Correct. So that's when I really did a hard look and decided that I'm done. I'm done being downsized. I'm done being my positions being eliminated because the numbers didn't make sense for this faceless entity anymore. Now, the last company I worked for, they were a really good company, and the team I worked with, they were a great group of people. I have no complaints about them whatsoever. It was all me. It was all just like I had no passion for the work anymore. I had no desire to continue on working for somebody else. And that's when I decided to take matters into my own hands and decided to go out on my own. And I wasn't 100% sure that I wanted to do it in real estate. I knew there was some facet of real estate I wanted to do. So I explored some other options and ultimately settled on real estate investing as the best path for me, because it just offers a bunch of different avenues. And I had no idea, and this was about a year and a half ago, I had no idea the communities I would be in, the people I would meet, all the networking I would be doing, and just all the really great connections I've made over the last 18 months. So
it's been really phenomenal for me as well.
It has truly been a ride, and it's, you know, of course, like anything that you're building from the ground up, it has its road bumps, right?
No.
So, and it's just a matter of learning how to get out of your own way. But it also has taught me that I don't need to do this all by myself too. Whereas a lot of entrepreneurs, they think, like, it's just me, I'm doing this all, no one else knows how to do it better than I can, and it'll only get you so far, and then you're just spinning your wheels in the mud and you're not growing, you're not scaling. So real estate investing was where it was at for me. And I started in early 2024, and I bought an education platform, or I bought into an education platform and learned all the things that I wanted to learn, and focused on fix and flips, and partnered with somebody else from that same community, that education community. And we bought a townhouse in Tempe, Arizona. Really nice. Fixed it up. It only took 5 weeks for the rehab to be done. And then, unfortunately, it sat on the market for 9 months due to a bunch of things.
Sometimes
and
things
so
happen,
yeah. So we lost money on that one, unfortunately. Happens, right? But it's not like it was a complete surprise. I was more disappointed than anything else. But it didn't hold me back. It didn't really, like, oh man, this is not for me, I'm not into this, I don't know what I was thinking. And could I have ran back to my old W-2 life and picked up where I left off? Absolutely. I still could. I just choose not to, because I don't want to give up on this. And neither does my wife, neither does my family. They want to see me succeed. And that's the best kind of support that anyone could ever ask for. So I'm truly grateful for that.
That's amazing. I'm really glad that you have that as well. The thing that I like that you said is that you could always go back if you wanted to. And I think that's something that people don't take into consideration when considering risks, is that your plan B is basically everyone else's plan A. And maybe this won't work out, but you could always go back and work a W-2 job again.
That's true.
That's really cool. So you had this flip that took 9 months to complete. What was the next thing that happened? Did you go out and do another flip after you finished that, or what, did you make a pivot? I know you're in self-storage now, or sorry, storage.
Yep. Right. So while I was going through the fix and flip time, I think it was the summer before, summer of 2024, I had attended a conference in Indianapolis, and it was a 3-day event that was all about self-storage. And I had watched a mastermind webinar on it, and I was like, oh, this sounds really interesting. So I bought into the conference and attended, and that's like, oh, this is really what I want to do. Because everyone else was talking about, oh, you can buy multifamily, buy other homes, buy and hold, and you get so many doors, and you'll be making passive income. You'll be really, really financially free. And then at the same time, I was also hearing all the tenants and trash problems that those same owners were having with those same properties. And I'm like, well, I don't think I want to do that. That sounds like a lot of hassle. So after attending that conference, I'm like, all right, this is the next thing I'm going to go into. I'm going to do this fix and flip thing. I'm going to build this business up, and then I'm going to get into self-storage, because I wanted to focus on the one thing. And then after our flip in Tempe finally closed in early June, the market had changed, and things were a lot slower and sitting on the market longer. And I'm like, well, could I buy another property and flip it? And it might do better, it might not, but I'm still looking at like a 6 to 9 month timeline. And I don't think I want to go through that again. So I did a pivot. It was right there. It's like, well, I had talked about going into self-storage, but I was wanting to do a little more fix and flip, but I'm like, let's just do it now. No time like the present. So that's when I made the decision. It was next I started doing that in February that I started down my self-storage journey and bought into another community and program to learn all about it. So smaller organization, smaller network, smaller cohort. Not like the big ones like AJ Osborne and Scott Myers and all the other ones that might be out there. This one is really good. He launched his in February, and so far I've been pretty happy with it. It's really just him, and he's still building that business as well. So it's nice to be in on the ground up for this, and he's gotten a lot more people within his community for this, and it's nice to network with them as well. And I'm already on an accountability call with one of the other members, one of the other people in the community. Every other week, we go in and we hash out underwriting on these self-storage facilities. So it's been really great. It's been a great experience so far, and I'm still on target on looking at, well, yes, acquisitions and acquiring my first facility before the end of the month.
I think that's really cool that you have people that are doing something similar. There's a lot of utility in having what's called the campfire effect, where you're in a like-minded space and other people are trying to do the same thing that you're trying to do, and you support one another.
Absolutely. No, I love it. Just like what we have within our own communities too. The camaraderie, the support, really, the camaraderie and the support that we provide each other.
We want to see each other win.
Absolutely.
Well, what do you expect the future of your business and your investing journey to look like, Ron?
So my long-term goal is within the next 3 years, have 5 facilities under belt and be able to continue that portfolio, hopefully within other markets outside of Arizona, because I'm starting in Arizona first. And once I start doing that, then look at other businesses that would provide another stream of income too. It's always good to diversify your portfolio and not have all your eggs in one basket. I'm a big believer in that. So not leaving residential real estate investing, just putting it on the shelf for now. So
Gotcha.
Might go back to fix and flipping, but at the same time, I may just continue just doing self-storage from here on out.
Well, and then the markets kind of flip around sometimes. And so sometimes certain things are more beneficial than others. And then on the backswing, it's the opposite.
Right, exactly. And I also do some private money lending too. So I use that as an opportunity to build my retirement, since I do it through my self-directed account. So nice.
Why don't you talk a little bit about that, how people can use their retirement accounts or their self-directed IRAs to invest in projects like this?
Sure. So you have your traditional IRA and a Roth IRA that's managed by firms like Fidelity, that you have those brokers that are essentially, they're getting fees from the money that you are acquiring that's getting built up from the Wall Street, right? So that versus what's self-directed, it's a different custodian. So it's not Wall Street. You moving your money to the same IRS protected tax accounts that you have Fidelity managing, except you're able to use that money for alternative assets. Real estate is one of them. Cryptocurrency is another. Also the oil and gas.
Okay.
Right? So correct. Yeah. Now, the ones traditionally held with companies like Fidelity or firms like Fidelity and other custodians that do alternative assets, they're still governed by the same IRS rules, right? So there are certain things you can and cannot do with investing. Like for instance, if I wanted to purchase a beach house with my 401k, or not my 401k, but with the traditional IRA money or Roth IRA money, I can't do that. That's called self-investing, and the IRS says no on that. Now,
okay. If beach house as in just having like a property to live in for 3 months out of the year, or
exactly.
So you're renting it out or anything. You're just your second house. That's not allowed.
Right. That is not allowed. And you also are not allowed to, even if you wanted to buy an investment property that you would be renting out, you can't use that same self-directed account for the purchase. Now, notice how I said the purchase. You can invest in it through, like, your wife had money she wanted to lend for not the acquisition, but for like the cost or something like that. As long as it's not for the acquisition of the property, then that's how you can sort of guideline as a way to or not purchase, but invest with that as long as there's terms and you're getting a percentage back on it, and it's all in the up and up like that. And the self-directed custodian handles all the paperwork for that.
Okay. And can you be the custodian of your own IRA, or do you have to appoint someone else to do that for you?
You have to appoint someone else to be the custodian of your self-directed accounts.
Okay. I'm just confused about why it's called self-directed if you're not the one directing it.
Well, you are directing. You're directing how to invest in it, but you still need a custodian to basically be the overseer of the account. They're not managing it per se.
Okay.
So kind of how they make their money, but they charge you an annual fee versus getting fees off of your investments that you accumulate from like a fidelity, for instance.
They also let you know which things are allowed and which ones aren't.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're saying I want to use my money to purchase this, and I'm like, no, you can't do that. So they're really good at least telling you what you can and cannot do.
Well, that's really good information. Thank you, Ron. Would you have any other recommendations for resources or educational material that people might be able to take advantage of, especially if they're just getting started?
Sure. So I always tell anyone that's interested in real estate investing, really two things. It's a book, and I'll tell you what the book is in a second, and also to look up their local RIA, the Real Estate Investment Association. So the National RIA, you can go on their website and look up whichever one is closest to them. And the book is called Start With Strategy. It's a Bigger Pockets book by Dave Meyer.
Okay.
So I like that book because it really gives a nice, not just overview, but also it dives deep into some detail of each of the popular real estate investing strategies, like for your fix and flips, for your buy and holds. They go to a little bit of private money lending. That's a great book for anyone that's brand new into real estate investing to get started with. At least get an idea of what it's all about. It's pretty real. And then as the RIA is also a great place to network with other real estate investors.
Making those connections.
Start making those connections with lenders, hard money lenders, people in the trade like GCs, general contractors. They're always there at those meetings, and just get your face out there too.
Yeah, people know who you are as well. I like that fact that you've given us this recommendation for a book, because one of the things that I noticed as I started into real estate investing and business in general is there are all kinds of terms and things that people talk about that you just don't know. You've never been exposed to them before. And so starting with something like this allows you to learn a lot of the jargon that people use and get a better idea of where you want to go with what you're doing.
Correct.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience before we end the interview today?
For anyone that's as old as I am, like I said, I started in my almost mid 50s when I decided to leave the W-2 world and go out on my own. It's not too late. It's never too late to end a chapter and then start a new one. And for anyone else that may be listening to this, I'm living proof, business, and I've never been happier. And does this have its challenges? Of course. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm the one that's controlling my own destiny. I'm the one that's in charge of my financial future. So I think that just puts a different mindset and spin on how you look at things and how you perceive things. And I always love to talk to others that are in the same boat as I am, or they feel the same way I do. And I really enjoy sharing the knowledge. So happy with providing any kind of feedback about my experiences. And I'm continuing to journal that through social media as well. So mostly through Instagram, and then obviously copies over to Facebook with how they have that connection. And so, yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm pretty much an open book. I'm happy to share.
Well, you heard that, guys. Go ahead and reach out to Ron. In fact, Ron, where can people reach out to you?
So I am on Facebook, RW Moore, and also Instagram under the same handle. And also LinkedIn, I think it's Ron-Mora, Mora. So for you to reach out, connect. Let's get on a Zoom call, and have a conversation.
And I'll make sure to put all of those social media handles in the YouTube description. So if you'd like to reach out and have a conversation with Ron, you'll be able to find that link down below. And please remember to like and subscribe the video, since we are able to make more quality content the more support we get. And thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate the fact that you have given us your attention, and you have a wonderful day. This has been the Pot of Gold Podcast, where we talk about finances, wealth generation, and real estate investing.